Welcome to the Lost Archives, where myth, memory, and mystery are never far apart.
The flood is not just a myth. It's a memory, not of rain, but of erasure, of something too big, too fast, too perfect to survive. In every corner of the world, the stories begin the same. A warning, a cleansing, a survival. They say it was punishment. They say it was mercy. But what if it was neither? What if it was a reset we were never meant to remember? One man was told to build. He heard the silence between the stars, and he listened.
They said, build a boat. I said, cool, how big? They said, yes. The gods were like, cleanse the earth, and I'm over here trying to waterproof literal giraffes. At one point, a lion tried to eat a goat, and I just yelled, trauma bonding, and walked away. Anyway, after the flood, the first thing I saw was a skeleton holding a flute. No notes, just vibes. 10 generations later, no one remembers any of it. Sick boat, though.
Not all warnings came from gods. Some came from those who broke the rules to protect us. The Watchers were not supposed to fall, but they did into desire, into chaos, into flesh. Their children, the Nephilim, were giants of ruin. Violence spread like wildfire. Earth cracked under their feet. People looked to the sky for mercy. But mercy had already fallen. The flood was not sent to punish. It was sent to clean up what had already gone wrong.
We weren't supposed to interfere. Just watch, observe, document. Yeah, we blew that.
One of us taught them fire. One taught makeup. After that, it was apocalypse by tutorial.
The Nephilim were hot, unstable, and 10 stories tall. Basically divine red flags. By the time the flood showed up, we'd already firewalled most of the planet.
Falling didn't break us. Thinking we could fix it? That's what did.
The Watchers fell. The flood swept their ruins clean. But the memory didn't drown. It burned. The fire wasn't revenge. It was memory still breathing. Every ember said, I saw what you did. I won't forget. They say it started in the mountains. A child who remembered the sky taught her people to burn stories into stone. Others came after, flood survivors, dream walkers, fire bearers. They lit signal blazes. They carved myths into caves. They warned us, the flood never ends. It just learns how to walk. One of them kept the story burning.
So yeah, the flood happened. Again. And they still asked me to write a happy ending.
They were like, quick, document the collapse. Bro, I don't even have ink that isn't cursed.
You'd think Skyfire killed half the planet would be memorable. Nope. They forgot in like 3 generations. We literally carved it into stone. Do not rebuild the tower! Guess what they did? Honestly, I started adding jokes. If nobody's listening, I might as well make the apocalypse funny.
But the joke wasn't new. Every flood leaves behind a punchline. Some say it ended in fire, others in water. But the stories always started the same, with a warning. A god builds a boat. A priest counts the stars. A jaguar weeps into the soil. Sumer remembered. The Hebrews remembered. The Maya remembered. But not all of it, never all of it, because the flood doesn't just destroy. It edits. Memories vanish. Maps sink. Names blur. A child reads a story and thinks it's fiction. A scribe adds a joke, hoping someone will listen. And every generation thinks they're the first to tell the story.
You ever try to journal in a flood? Pages turn into soup. Feelings evaporate.
I once screamed into a seashell, and it echoed back LOL. So that's where I'm at.
There was this crab who kept following me around. Might have been my therapist.
The flood never ends. It just learns to wear different faces. And when the next one comes, maybe this time we'll remember.
Another chapter sealed, another mystery waiting. Return soon to the lost archives.